Welcome to a place of healing on Voice of Compassion. Imagine a rainy day. A mother walks through the streets holding her sorrow close. Tonight, we share an ancient story about love, loss, and the gentle wisdom that helps us let go. It is a story that has comforted millions of hearts for thousands of years. It whispers a truth we often forget. Everything that comes and must one day go. And in accepting this, we find peace. Relax your body, let your breath flow like water, and let your spirit rest in the story of the mustard seed. Story 7, the mustard seed, part 1, the mother's grief, plus meeting the Buddha, introduction, a love that filled the whole world. Rain fell in thin lines from a grey sky. It was not a wild storm. It was the kind of rain that makes the world quieter, as if the earth is trying to speak softly. In a small town, narrow streets turned dark and shiny. Water ran along the sides of the road, carrying dust and fallen leaves. Windows were closed, doors stayed shut. People walked quickly, heads down, trying to escape the cold. In a modest home near the edge of the town lived a young mother named Kisa Gotami. She was not rich, her home was simple, her clothes were plain, but she had something that made her feel richer than anyone: her child. A little boy with soft cheeks and bright eyes, a boy who reached for her face with small hands, a boy who laughed when she sang to him. When he slept, Kisa watched his chest rise and fall, and she felt peace. When he cried, she held him close, and she felt needed. When he smiled, she felt as if the whole world was kind. Her love was not a thought, it was a living thing. It filled her arms, it filled her days, it filled her heart like warm light. And because she loved him so much, she feared the world. She feared sickness. She feared cold nights. She feared anything that could take him away, so she cared for him with careful hands. She fed him, she wrapped him warmly, she whispered prayers over his sleep. But life does not always listen to prayers. One evening, the child became quiet. Too quiet. At first, Kisa thought he was simply tired. She touched his forehead and felt heat, a fever. She sat beside him through the night, wiping his skin with cool cloth. She whispered his name again and again. "My sweet one, stay with me." The child's breathing became small. His eyes looked far away. Kisa's chest tightened with fear. By morning, his body was still. Too still. Kisa called his name. No answer. She shook him gently. No movement. She pressed her ear to his chest, desperate for the small sound of life. But there was only silence, the kind of silence that changes everything. Kisa stared at her child. Her mind refused the truth. No, this is not real. She held him and rocked him as if rocking could bring breath back. "Wake up," she whispered. "Please, wake up." But the child did not wake. Her heart broke in a way that had no sound at first. Then it came, a cry, raw, high, animal, a mother's cry that rises from the deepest place in the body. Neighbors heard and came to the door. Some stepped inside, then froze. Some covered their mouths. Some whispered prayers. One old woman touched Kisa's shoulder gently. "Kisa," she said, voice trembling. "He's gone." Kisa pulled away. "Gone," she repeated, eyes wild. "No, he's sick. He needs medicine." The old woman's eyes filled with tears. "Kisa, there is no medicine for this." Kisa shook her head hard, as if shaking could throw away reality. "You don't know," she said. "You don't know my child." She stood up, still holding the child against her chest, as if he were only sleeping. "I will find medicine," she said, voice shaking. "I will find someone who can help." The people tried to stop her. "It's too late," they whispered. "Let him rest. Let him go." But Kisa could not. To let him go felt like dying herself. She walked out into the rainy street with her child in her arms. Rain soaked her hair. Rain ran down her face like endless tears. Her robe clung to her body. She did not feel the cold. She only felt the emptiness growing inside her, larger than the sky. The mother wanders. Kisa went from house to house. She knocked on doors with desperate hands. When someone opened, she lifted her child slightly as if showing a wound. "My son is sick," she begged. "Please, do you have medicine? Anything. Anything that can wake him." People stared. Some looked away quickly. Some tried to speak gently. Some did not know what to do. One man whispered to his wife, "She has lost her mind." A woman stepped back and closed the door slowly, tears in her eyes. Another person said softly, "Dear, he's dead." Kisa's voice became sharp with panic. "No," she said, "he's not dead. He's sleeping. Give me medicine." Some tried to comfort her. Some offered food. Some offered a place to sit. But Kisa refused everything. She wanted only one thing, her child back. She walked through the town like a ghost in the rain. Mud splashed her feet. Her arms trembled from holding him. Her body grew weak, but she did not stop. Because hope, even false hope, was the last thread holding her upright. At last, someone spoke to her in a softer way. An old man, watching from under a roof, said gently, "Kisa, there is one who may help you. There's a great teacher nearby. They call him the Buddha." Kisa turned her head quickly. Her eyes clung to the word help, like a drowning person clings to wood. "Where?" she whispered. The old man pointed toward a grove of trees outside the town. "He sits there sometimes," the old man said. "He speaks to people who suffer." "Go and ask him." Kisa did not thank him. She ran, as much as a broken heart can run. The meeting with the Buddha. Outside the town, the rain became lighter. The air smelled of wet grass and earth. A quiet grove stood between the fields. The trees were tall and calm. Their leaves caught the rain softly, letting it fall in slow drops. Under the trees, people sat in a circle. They were listening to a man seated calmly at the center, the Buddha. Kisa stepped into the grove, breathing hard. People turned and saw her. They saw the child in her arms. Some faces softened with sadness. Some looked frightened. Some looked away. Kisa pushed forward through the circle, desperate. She fell to her knees in front of the Buddha. Her hair was wet. Her face was pale. Her arms shook. "Please," she cried, holding the child out slightly. "My son is sick. Give me medicine. Bring him back." The grove fell silent. Even the rain seemed to hold its breath. The disciples watched carefully. Some felt sorrow. Some felt discomfort. They expected the Buddha to speak about death, to tell her the truth. But the Buddha did not speak harshly. He did not look at her with judgment. He did not look away. He looked at her with deep kindness, like a father looking at a child who is lost in darkness. Kisa's whole body trembled. "I can't live without him," she whispered. I can't. The Buddha's voice, when it came, was soft. "Kisa, go to me," he said gently, calling her by name. Hearing her name, in that calm voice, made her cry harder. The Buddha looked at the child, then back at the mother. "I can help you," he said. Kisa's eyes opened wide, filled with desperate hope. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, please." The Buddha continued slowly. "Bring me a mustard seed," he said, "but it must come from a house that has never known death." Kisa stared. A mustard seed, something so small? But she did not question. Hope can make anything feel possible. "Yes," she said quickly. "Yes, I will find it." The Buddha's eyes remained gentle. "Go," he said softly. When you return, we will speak again. Kisa bowed deeply. She rose to her feet with shaking legs, holding her child tighter, and she left the grove, stepping back into the rainy world, carrying her love, carrying her grief, carrying the small, fragile hope of a mustard seed. Story 7, The Mustard Seed, Part 2, The Search, plus the realization, its conclusion, reflection. The search for the mustard seed. Kisa returned to the town, moving quickly through the wet streets. The rain still fell, but softer now, like tired tears. She held her child close, feeling the cold of his skin through her thin robe. She did not allow herself to notice it fully. Not yet. Mustard seed, she repeated inside her mind. A mustard seed from a house that has never known death. It sounded strange, but it was a task. And a task gave her something to do besides fall apart. She went to the first house near the market. She knocked. A woman opened the door, pulling her shawl tight. Kisa bowed quickly. Please, Kisa said, voice trembling with hope. I need a mustard seed. Just one? But it must come from a house that has never known death. The woman's face changed. Her eyes moved from Kisa's wet hair to the child in her arms. The woman's mouth opened, then closed. She spoke softly. My sister died last year, she said. I am sorry. Kisa blinked. Her hope shook, but it did not break yet. Then, thank you, Kisa whispered, already turning away. She went to the next house. Knock. A man opened the door holding a lamp. Warm light fell onto the rain. Kisa asked the same question. Mustard seed, a house with no death. The man's eyes dropped. My father died when I was young, he said quietly. I still miss him. Kisa felt her throat tighten. She nodded, unable to speak, and moved on. Another house. Knock. An old couple opened. Kisa asked again quickly, as if speed could protect her. The old woman's eyes filled with tears. We lost our child, she whispered, many years ago. She was as small as your little one. Kisa's knees weakened. She held the child tighter and stepped back. I'm sorry, Kisa whispered, though she did not know why she was saying it. She walked away, the rain soaking her shoulders. The town becomes a mirror house after house, Kisa asked, and in every house the answer was the same, not always spoken with words. Sometimes it was a long silence, sometimes it was a deep sigh, sometimes it was a hand placed on the heart. But the meaning was clear. Death had been there. In one home, a young mother said, "My husband died in the last fever." In another, a merchant said, "My brother drowned in the river." In another, a child pointed at a small stone near the doorway and said softly, "That is where we light a candle for grandmother." Kisa began to notice something. Each time she asked for a mustard seed, the door did not only open to a house, it opened to a story, a loss, a pain, and the people were not laughing at her now. They were looking at her with the eyes of those who have been there, those who know that grief is not a strange illness. It is love with nowhere to go. One woman invited Kisa in and offered her warm water. Kisa almost refused out of habit, but the woman held her hand gently and said, "Sit, your arms must be tired." Kisa sat. Her child lay on her lap. The woman spoke quietly. "My son died 3 winters ago," she said. "I also carried him for days. I begged people to help me." Kisa stared at her, stunned. You did?" Kisa whispered. The woman nodded. "Yes," she said, tears falling freely. "I thought if I tried hard enough, life would change its mind." Kisa's lips trembled. "And then?" she asked, barely able to breathe. The woman's voice softened. "Then I saw," she said, "that my love was not special, because everyone loves. And my pain was not unique, Because everyone loses. Kisa felt something inside her crack, not like breaking, like opening. She stood up slowly and bowed to the woman. "Thank you," Kisa whispered, and left the house. The moment of understanding. The day grew late. The rain became lighter, as if the sky was also tired. Kisa walked through the town more slowly now. Her feet were heavy with mud. Her arms ached. Her mind felt quieter. She was no longer only searching, she was listening. She began to see the small signs of loss everywhere. A black cloth tied near a door, a quiet altar in a corner, a candle burning even in daylight, a name spoken in a whisper. At the last house on the street, Kisa knocked again, almost without hope now. An old man opened. Kisa asked her question, but her voice was smaller. "Do you have a mustard seed from a house that has never known death?" The old man looked at her for a long time. Then he shook his head gently. "My daughter died," he said, "and my wife died. And one day, I will die too." Kisa's eyes filled, but she did not run this time. She nodded slowly, as if she finally understood a language she had been refusing to hear. She turned away from the door and walked, not toward another house, toward the edge of town, toward a quiet place where the noise could not reach. Outside the town, there was a small field. Beyond it, a path led to a simple resting place where people buried their dead. The ground was dark with rain. Small stones marked some graves. A few wildflowers grew between them, bending under drops of water. Kisa stood among the quiet stones. She looked down at her child. His face was peaceful, as if he was sleeping without dreams. Kisa's chest rose and fell, slow and shaking. For a long time, she did not move. She only held him, as if holding him could keep him near. Then finally, she understood the Buddha's request. It was not to find a seed. It was to find the truth, that death had touched every home, that no house was free from loss, that her pain, as sharp as it was part of the human world. She knelt down in the wet grass, and for the first time she stopped fighting. Tears came, but they were different now, not only desperate tears. They were quiet tears. The kind that come when the heart stops asking life to be fair and begins to accept what is real. Kisa kissed her child's forehead. Her lips shook. "My beloved," she whispered, "I searched for medicine. I searched for a miracle." Her voice broke. "And I found that the world is full of love and full of loss." She held him close one last time. Then with hands that trembled like leaves, she laid him down, gently, as if placing him into the arms of the earth. The rain touched his face softly. Kisa bowed her head, and in the silence of that place, something inside her settled. Not happiness, not yet, but peace. A quiet peace that can exist beside pain. She stood slowly. Her arms were empty now. The emptiness felt sharp, but it was also honest, and honesty, at last, gave her strength. Returning to the Buddha, Kisa walked back to the grove. Night was coming. The clouds were thinner. The rain had almost stopped. The trees held drops of water on their leaves, shining like small lights. When she arrived, the Buddha was still there, seated, calm, present. Kisa approached slowly and knelt. She did not carry her child now, only her breath, only her heart. The Buddha looked at her gently. "Did you find the mustard seed?" he asked softly. Kisa's eyes filled with tears again, but her voice was quiet. "No," she said, "there is no house without death." The Buddha nodded. Kisa continued, voice trembling but clear. "I was not alone," she whispered. "Every home has known loss. Every heart has broken." The Buddha's face softened. "Yes," he said, "this is the nature of life." Kisa lowered her forehead toward the ground. In her bow, there was no longer wild refusal. There was surrender, and in surrender, there was relief. Conclusion, reflection. And now, dear listener, this story is very old, but grief is always new. Maybe you have lost someone, a parent, a child, a partner, a friend. Maybe the loss still lives in your body, in your sleep, in your chest, in the sudden moments when memory arrives like rain. And maybe, like Kisa, you wished for a miracle. One more conversation, one more smile, one more day. That wish is love. It is not wrong. But sometimes love must learn a new shape. Because all things change, all bodies are borrowed, all meetings end. Not because life is cruel, but because life is moving, like the river, like the seasons, like breath. The Buddha did not shame Kisa. He did not push her. He guided her gently to see what she could not see alone, that death touches every home. And because it touches every home, we are not alone. We are part of the human family. So tonight, if your heart is heavy, be gentle with yourself. Do not hurry your grief, but also do not carry it as a punishment. Let it be what it is, love. Learning to live without a place to go, and when you are ready, even if only a little, allow acceptance to enter. Acceptance does not erase love. It makes room for peace beside love. Rest now. Let the rain fall. Let the breath return. And know you are not alone. The end. The rain has stopped. The heart is still. And the wisdom remains. As you drift towards sleep or return to your day, remember this. Impermanence is not a punishment. It is the nature of life, like the rising and setting sun. When we accept the flow of life, we stop fighting the current, and in that surrender, we find true strength. Thank you for being here with Voice of Compassion. Breathe in acceptance, breathe out resistance. Rest well,